Good morning. I'm going to be talking this morning about gratitude and reflecting on some lessons I've had understanding gratitude during times of great adversity. I remember when my wife was dying, and then after she died, feeling no gratitude, not able yet to be grateful for our 34 years together, not able to feel grateful for really anything, for a beautiful day, for the sunrise, for the sunset, for my health. It was just dark, and gratitude was unavailable to me, which I think in retrospect made my life much darker and much more painful than it could have been. I remember that maybe a month or so after her death, I became really interested in attending a Buddhist retreat, and my idea was to go to the Barre Center, where they offer 5-day silent retreats and that sort of thing. And I thought that would be good for me to do. I had just begun to meditate regularly at that point, and the idea of going into a retreat was very enticing to me. But to my surprise, when I went online, I discovered that there was a year-long wait to get into any extended retreat that Barre offered. And I began to explore further what else they might have to offer, and I learned that there was a place called the Barre Center for Buddhist Studies, and they had shorter-term retreats that were more educationally focused. And I signed up for a retreat called Going Forth, and it was run by a teacher who was out of Boulder, Colorado. His name was David Chernikoff. I'd never heard of him. I had no idea what I was walking into, and I was very vulnerable. I remember driving out to Barre, which is about maybe an hour or so from where I live, and wondering what I was in for, who I'd meet, what I might learn. Also wondering in a concrete way, could I sleep? What kind of accommodations would there be? Would I become anxious? What kind of food would they have? All the different things that I just was unclear about, because I was taking a big risk for me at the time. And I made the decision while driving to Barre that I was going to talk to the teacher as soon as I could and tell him that my wife died about a month ago and that I'm very vulnerable, and I just need him to know this about me, so maybe he would just be looking out for me. So after the first evening, there was a dinner, and then we went into a 2-hour evening introductory workshop. And after that had ended, I hung around and I approached David, and I said something like, I want to talk to you a little bit about myself. And he said, sure. I said, do you have any time? He said, yeah, as much as you need. And we sat well into the night. Time was not a problem for him. He sat with me. I told him that my wife had just died, and I came here very vulnerable and deeply sad, and that I just need him to know about me a little bit. And he sat with me and he listened for hours. And I talked and I cried and I just let him in, and he was there. And then when it was time for us to stop talking, he walked with me back to where I would be staying, in a little, like a dormitory. And we said goodnight. I got into into the dormitory, got into my room, a small little room by myself, with a bed and a dresser and a window. And as I recall, I slept very soundly that night. In the morning, we began our day with the meditation. Actually, we began the day with folks who took on the job of waking the community up by sounding a bell and walking through the grounds, sounding a wake-up bell for the community. And I had signed up for that. So I don't believe it was the first morning that it was my turn. Maybe it was the second morning where those who had signed up would get up early before the rest of the community and would take that job on of waking the group up. But someone woke me up that morning with a bell, and I started the day with a meditation, then breakfast, and then our first class occurred. What I took away a lot, I think, from that 3-day workshop. But what perhaps I was most left with was a morning prayer that David offered to us one particular morning. Maybe it was the second morning of class. And he very humbly would hand out a sheet, and we'd look at it together, and maybe we read it together, or he read it to us. Each morning a different introductory prayer or meditation that would begin our workshop for that day. And one of the mornings, I think maybe the second morning, was this particular one. Thank you for this new day now beginning. Thank you for the passage through the night. Thank you for the gifts and blessings, challenges and teachings, miracles and mysteries of this most amazing life. Grant your blessings, my teachers and guides, that in all that I say, think, and do this day, I may be an instrument of the precious Dharma, an instrument of healing, blessing, and liberation. Let my life be an expression of love and wisdom, peace and joy, truth and freedom, that I and all beings, without exception of any kind, may awaken together and live in harmony with the great way that is beyond all names and forms. May it be so. I was so enamored by that prayer. Someone said, "Who wrote that?" And he very modestly said, "Oh, I did." He didn't put his name on the sheet, but he wrote it. And I think all of us in the workshop were so taken by it. I know for myself, I realized that it was a resource that I could take with me and use every morning. And for, I'd say, about a year at least, after learning that prayer, I began my morning with it. Thank you for this new day now beginning. Thank you for the passage through the night. Thank you for the gifts and blessings, challenges and teachings, miracles and mysteries of this most amazing life. Grant your blessings, my teachers and guides, that in all that I say and think and do this day I may be an instrument of the precious Dharma, an instrument of healing, blessing, and liberation. Let my life be an expression of love and wisdom, peace and joy, truth and freedom, that I and all beings, without exception of any kind, may awaken together and live in harmony with the great way that is beyond all names and forms. May it be so. And every morning I'd wake up and I'd have that gift of remembering how much there is to be grateful for, even then, even now, even today, even this morning. It's here. It's available to us. So many teachers, so many spiritual leaders try so hard to help us see that, and we forget it again and again and again, and we lose the connection to what is right here and right now. This is it, as Thich Nhat Hanh teaches. This is it. This is the moment. We're here, and this is it. This is all we got. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So that's what I want to leave with you today. Give you something. Simply a reminder. What's there to be grateful for today? Even today, even now, even this moment. What's here for us that we can say thank you to? Thank you. And Thich Nhat Hanh talks about gratitude for our breath. Gratitude for to be alive. He says that sometimes when he goes to pee in the morning, he focuses on gratitude that his body is working, his bladder is working, and he can pee. There's always something right here and now that we can be grateful for. And whatever reminders we have take us to that awareness of this moment, the better we'll be. And I'm grateful for David Chernikoff offering his lovely prayer that brings in so much of what I've come to understand as what is available to me. It reminds me that I have ancestors that are around. I have angels and guides available to me. I have lessons to learn from wise teachers. I have a beautiful day outside. I have a room that's warm where I'm sitting right now. I'm able to breathe. So, thank you for this new day now beginning. Thank you for the passage through the night. Thank you for the gifts and blessings, challenges and teachings, miracles and mysteries of this most amazing life. Let my life be an expression of love and wisdom, peace and joy, truth and freedom, that I and all beings, even the squirrel in my feeder, even those moths that swim all around my office and fly through the air, and I wonder where they're landing, what they're chewing. I and all beings, even that guy who swindled me of $3,000 the first year after Andrea died, all beings without exception of any kind may awaken together and live in harmony with the great way that is beyond all names and forms. May it be so.